Alright, I am back again. This is kind of like a very sombering day. First off, just to recap, Haiti has been absolutely slammed by a major earthquake. Looks like a lot of damage, a lot of carnage, a lot of bad things going on there. They still haven't recovered from the one 10 years ago when the National Palace went down. So, yeah, that's not good. As you know, the Taliban is pretty much back in charge of Afghanistan. That's going to be the main focus of this particular video. If you're expecting me to blame Trump, no, he has nothing to do with this. If you're expecting me to blame Biden, there is some blame to go with him. But ultimately, like the overall situation, no. It's not his fault. I'm not even going to lump Little Bush in, because this is a major thing that goes back centuries, really. If you remember, the United States did kind of support the group that became the Taliban, Al Qaeda, as a way to combat the spread of the Soviet Union in the Middle East. Yeah, that is a thing. If you want to go look it up, the CIA actually said something about it on their Twitter page once, which is kind of funny. But I know you're going, but you said centuries. That was only a few decades. Go back and look at what Napoleon said when he tried to deal with the Middle East. Or the Romans. Pretty much anyone who's ever tried to deal with the Middle East. It's never gone well. It just never has. I mean, they've been fighting amongst themselves for centuries, if not millennia. How long have they been fighting over who really to follow after the death of the Prophet Muhammad? If memory serves me right, that's where the Sunni, the Shiite, and the Kurds come from, correct? It's been a while since I've studied that information. So yeah, that would have been what, 564 AD or thereabouts. It's 2021 now, so that's getting close to 1,600 years just on that alone. So let's not pretend that we will ever be able to straighten it out. There's only one way there will ever be peace in the Middle East, really. And I'm not going to say that in this particular video because it would get me flagged. It would be that heinous, that gruesome. Because how do you promote peace when in a culture that is not, I mean, they're so ingrained, fighting is so ingrained that I don't even know if some of them realize the exact reasons why they fight. They just know that that's the way it's always been, or has been for so long, they don't really know the root reasons behind it. And you can agree or disagree with even going into Afghanistan to begin with. And that's not what this video is about. The fact of the matter is, there's reports that the Pentagon said Afghanistan would fall, and Biden said, oh no it wouldn't. They were back with all these troops. And yet all those hundreds of thousands of troops, like 700,000, just laid down their guns. Nothing. That is where Biden failed. He did not anticipate as bad as things could be. That these troops that we spent 20 years, well, probably more like 15 years training, would just do that. That the government would be so corrupt they would literally just more or less hand over everything. But that's what happened. So Biden failed there. The Biden administration, rather. And I'll throw him under the bus because he's supposed to be in charge. If you remember, and I'll try to find a link through down to this, what was his response to the Americans who got stuck there? Take cover, hide. I'm pretty sure if Trump was still in office, he'd be wanting to send the military in and fight. And by the way, right before I started this video, there was something popped up on my phone where Biden said he supported that, and there's no sense in sending American troops to fight when they're not going to fight for themselves. And I do agree with that, no doubt. But there are still Americans there trying to get out. And the only thing that's happened is the Pentagon has authorized sending 1,000 troops in. And I'm thinking they may have refugee centers set up on American bases. And they're told just to, hide. When these people are wanting to capture them, wanting to behead them. Let's face it, that's exactly what would happen. And then one of the primary focuses of the government is to protect Americans and their interests at home and abroad, and they're failing to do so. One of the key fundamentals of the government, the key purposes, and they're failing to do so. It is 4:51 Eastern Time. Biden did not, from what I understand, make a speech until 3:45 Eastern Time. I did not get to watch it. How many days had passed since the Taliban started coming in to Afghanistan? We got nothing. Nothing. Biden went back on vacation. He showed up at the Situation Room, and 2-3 days later, we finally got a press conference. Where's the vice president been in all this? Nothing has been said there. The press secretary responded by going on vacation. People are climbing on planes and dying, falling off of said planes, trying to find a way to escape. And nothing is being said or done. Americans are in hiding, fearing for their lives, and nothing is being done. I don't care if you want to send troops in to liberate Afghanistan again. I don't care about that. I don't. I'm perfectly happy to say they made their bed, now lie in it. But until every last American is out of there, or at least every last American that wants out of there is out of there, you need to be sending troops in there to get them out. That is what you do to be responsible. And then, like I said, once you're done with that, once they're out, if you want to say, hey, you're on your own, you ain't going to fight for yourselves, we're not going to hold your little hand, I'm fine with that. I am perfectly fine with that. But don't you leave Americans in there to die. No. And what's worse, they so misunderstood what the true nature. Like even the Pentagon said it would be, 60 to 90 days or something like that, 6 months, whatever. And a full withdrawal hasn't even taken place and it's already happened. And they were so off guard. The military intelligence was so off guard, so clueless. CIA, NSA, whatever, were so clueless about what was really going on. Look at all of the technology they left behind that's now been captured. Aircraft, drones, everything. And if you think like Taliban's not going to be raffling that off to Russia, to places like Iran, might throw in the Saudis, China, so they can see what we got, you're wrong. I can't blame Trump. You can't blame. No one with any reasonable sense can blame Trump for this. And you can't blame Biden for getting out of it and everything going awry, because that was going to happen no matter what. There's nothing moral, ethically possible we could do to prevent this from happening. That's just how it is. It was going to happen. It didn't matter if we pulled out after 2 years or 200. This is what is happening right now, is exactly what would have happened no matter what. So, like I said, I can't blame Biden for that. And I can even support his idea of leaving them to lie in their own bed. I'm okay with that. But when the Taliban started coming in, and it looked like Americans were going to be trapped, the gloves should have come off. And we should have rained hellfire and brimstone upon them until we could get everyone out we could. Every last American that's there who wants out, they should have not been let down like they were. Like they are being let down as I speak. I will try to put some links down below to some various stories and articles and whatnot to support what I'm saying. Let me know what you think. Do you agree that just let him go? Do you agree that maybe we should have done more to protect Americans and our technology that's there, military technology, and who knows what other items? I mean, that's very valid things to think about, I would think. Also, I would throw this out. Do you think Trump could have handled this situation any better than Biden? Because from what I'm seeing, I think the way Biden handled this was about as bad as the Trump administration handled the pandemic. That's my thoughts on it. Like I said, I'll try to throw some links down below. And this is, as far as I know, will be going on both YouTube and BitChute later.